What's up? What's up, witches? Come on in the building. Come on in the building. Let's see here if everybody is with us. All right, it says we are connected. What's up, Instagram? What's up, YouTube? How we doing? Come on in the building. If you don't know who I am Ali Kravitz, aka Bronx Witch, and I am here to talk to you all today about the STAYcation retreat. Oh, what's up, Diana? Oh, we got some previous year STAYcation, which is in the building. So great to see you all coming in. I do hope you all are considering coming back with us this year, because this year is going to be epic. Epic. I'm so excited. This is our third year hosting the STAYcation retreat. It is a one-of-a-kind experience. When was the last time you saw a retreat specifically for the spiritual practitioners, the working witches, the healers, the leaders, the readers? We need something for us, right? We are always hosting the retreats. We are always hosting the events. But what about us? When do we get an opportunity to come together, enjoy healing and elevation, both for ourselves as spiritual people, but also as practitioners that take care of others? This is a rare and unique treat, and I do pray that you all consider taking advantage of it. This year's STAYcation is happening from November 7th through November 9th, Friday afternoon through Sunday afternoon. You get home in time to cook dinner and get ready for your work week. So it is a powerful experience, but it will not take up very much of your time. It's going to be a delightful weekend. And I'm super excited to announce something very special this year. I've never done this before. Typically, to participate in the STAYcation retreat, you have to commit to the whole weekend. You come up with us on Friday, you stay through till Sunday. But this year, because of our incredible sponsors, I am able to offer a day pass option. There are only 20 tickets for the day pass. So if this is interesting to you, please take advantage of it and grab them before they're gone. But the day pass allows you to come up Saturday morning and enjoy all of our substantive workshops, get your hands on our swag bag, and get treated to an amazing catered lunch before heading out at 5 in the evening. So for those of you that can't come for the whole weekend, you now have the Saturday day pass option. I definitely want you to consider it. So that's me. That's the retreat. If you're tuning in on Instagram, on the Witchwork page, or on my page, Bronx Witch, welcome, welcome. If you're tuning in on YouTube, welcome, welcome. Wherever you're tuning in from in the world, thank you so much for being here. But this hour really isn't about me. It is about our incredible activity leaders this year who are going to be bringing some fantastic workshops to help you level up spiritually and professionally. And we're going to hear from them right now. So let me bring to the stage all of our activity leaders. What's up, y'all? So great to see everybody.
Hello.
How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Good. You guys can unmute yourselves. You can chat whenever you would like. If you've got a lot of background noise, definitely, I totally understand you keeping yourself muted when you're not speaking. Just remember to turn yourself back on when you're ready to chat. But welcome, everybody. It is so great to see your beautiful faces. I'm super excited to have you with us. And I want to get right into it. I feel like me introducing you all would be a disservice. I feel like you all can share with the world who you are and what you bring to this magical experience better than I can. So I'm going to give each of you an opportunity to say hey and introduce yourselves. I think we'll go ahead. Why don't we start from me? Eva, you're at the top. So we'll go ahead and start with you. I am going to ask each of you to just give us a little introduction. Who are you? What do you do in the world? And why are you participating in this year's STAYcation?
Hey. Well, I am Eva Gypsy Love, guys, and I call myself a spiritual minister. Why? Because I do an abundance of a whole lot of different things, and one of my best specialties is the spiritual realm. Um, Astral projection is one of the things I work on the hardest. I am a tarot reader, ordained minister, a spiritual life coach. I also have run my own platform called the Four Corners Village, and I wanted to bring what it is of my spiritual kind. I'm also a part of Ifa. I've been in Santeria for over 21 years. I'm also in Congo, and I wanted to adapt that into other people's understanding of what that is and how I connected that with astral projection and helping people on the other side. So you don't have to be initiated into anything if you could get yourself spiritually inclined with it.
Beautiful.
Okay. Hi. Sorry, my mute button was not working.
Okay, that's all right.
I'm Fox. I am a practicing witch, bruja, whatever you want to say. I am one of Allie's witches in the shop, but I am also a massage therapist, and my magic comes from touch and healing from touch. And everything I'm bringing for this is going to be to learn to heal in that sense.
I love that.
Hello, everyone. Happy Friday Eve. My name is Jennifer Ochiaga, but please feel free to call me Jenny since we're friends. I am a therapist, psychoeducator, as well as an event curator. But here I am here as the founder of Mind Matter Mantra, where I do offer coaching, I offer psychoeducation in regards to anxiety, depression, contentment, imposter syndrome, and actually, that is something that I will be bringing today, just in regards to the staycation. So, yeah, that is a little bit about me. I'm so happy to be here.
Yes. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. I feel like I have like a cheat into everything because I have had the pleasure of connecting with each of you personally, and even receiving your services or taking your classes. So this is really special for me because I know how incredible each of you are, and I know what everybody is like about to experience. So I'm so happy for them. We've got some questions in the chat already on Instagram about where people should go for more information. So I just want to take a moment to let you all know that you are going to want to go to the link in my bio on Instagram or the link on Witchworks page at Bronx Witch HQ. If you click the link in the bio, you're going to see the staycation pop up first on both Instagram pages. If you are on YouTube, I am dropping the link right now to the retreat main page, which is where you will find all of the details about the retreats and our activity leaders. I'm also dropping the link to the day pass option, okay, which you will find on Eventbrite. So I have some questions for you all. I want to know what workshop you are bringing to the staycation and what should everyone expect to experience, because you guys are bringing some incredible options for people to enjoy, but they may have never either learned about these topics or had these types of spiritual or healing experiences before. So I'd love to know what workshop you're bringing to the staycation, but also if I am coming to you for the very first time, we've never met, what should I prepare myself for? We'll start with Eva again.
Woo, woo, woo. Well, for those of you that may think maybe you understand what astral projection is, or may think you understand the spiritual world, what I would ask first of all is maintain yourself from eating any meat prior to 3 days at least before the ceremony, because you're going to go on a nice little trip. So I am going to not only teach you what astral projection actually is, teach you how it is that the body is actually made and how the body, spirit, and the soul work in units. And I'm also going to take you to the other side to meet some orishas and have some blessings done. And you're going to be in the spiritual world. You're going to feel yourself leave your body. You're going to recognize when you leave your body. You're going to understand how you can do it without going to sleep at night. And you're going to be able to project and feel and understand and bring back, something that you might want to heal or fix or see or ask. And so you have the opportunity to ask the Orisha, which is Yemaya, which she is amazing, a mother or mother. And the way I express and explain her, she's Mother Nature. And what do we do with Mother Nature? You could ask Mother Nature any questions. She's your mom. And so now you could go to her, ask her whatever questions it is that you need to fulfillment in your life. And as well, I have a little small surprise. I am a very big fan of the spiritual world and a very big fan of the dead. So I hope y'all ready, and I hope y'all come in to see and check out what you're about to get. And yeah.
I love that. I'm excited for everything that we're doing this weekend, but this is definitely a new one for us to have this type of a spiritual experience. Personally, I've astral projected before, but never voluntarily, either in trance before dreams or while consuming some type of medicinal plant, some herbal voyage type situation. So I'm really excited to not only have the experience that you're going to take us on, but also have the skill of being able to drop into that space on my own, and to have greater control of it and not necessarily need any other substances or anything like that in order to be able to let go of my physical body and really travel outside of myself. So I'm blown away by this workshop. I know you've offered it many, many times, and I'm so grateful that you're bringing it to the STAYcation this year. So thank you.
Yes, I'm actually opening up. It's funny because a week prior to you, I'm actually opening up the school. Right now, it's just called Spirit World Academy, but I'm changing the name. I don't know to what, but it's about learning how to astral project within yourself, use it for your business, understand evil spirits as well as good spirits, and what you can do and how you could collide all those things together. Guys, the world is magical and we live amongst the dead. So let's learn about it.
Yes. Love it. So excited for that. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Fox, why don't you tell us what you are going to be offering to us? And before you even get started, I'm going to let people know that if you're deciding between whether or not to come up for the day pass or whether to stay with us for the entire weekend, Fox is a big reason why you are going to want to stay for the entire weekend, because Fox's services are only going to be available on Friday night to the guests that are staying in the house. I know Lauren Berg is happy about that. Lauren Berg already locked in her spot. So what are you going to be treating us to on Friday night?
So our time together is going to be called Moon and Muscles, since it's going to be a nighttime chair massage with aromatherapy. I'm going to have like different smells to help trigger great senses for you, to bring you into that deep alignment. And then I'm also going to have some stones around for you, and I'm going to have heating pads for like hands, for people who have cold hands and cold feet. Like my goal is to bring nothing but peace and harmony, to let your body, you saw my little black cat run by. Yeah, just to bring everybody into a space of safety. I want everybody to feel safe. That's the goal, because we're going to be meeting a bunch of new people. There's going to be so much new things that safety is always the concern. So I want to bring safety to those who are going to be coming into it.
I love that so, so much. I resonate so deeply with that because I consider myself the house mother. I was just on the phone with an applicant today. And one of the reasons why I call everybody who applies to stay with us for the whole weekend is for that reason, for safety. I never want to host a retreat where folks can just sign up, pay, and then show up, right? Who are you? What are you bringing into this space? What do you want from this space? I want to make sure that everyone who comes is satisfied. They feel like their expectations were not just met, but exceeded, that they had a clear understanding of what was going to be happening that weekend, and know that they are in a very safe container that has been really carefully curated by witches that are like them and that want them to have a beautiful experience. So I love so much that your focus for Friday night, for those of us who are staying in the house, staying overnight. It's our first night there. We are in a remote location on the water. You know what I'm saying? For my Bronxites, this might be the first time you've ever been out where all you can hear is crickets and the waves in the background, okay? And one thing for me growing up, going to Charleston, where my family is from, I was always so shocked at how the quiet scared the bejesus out of me. Give me sirens, give me gunshots in the background, give me somebody arguing 2 apartments away. I'm fine. Put me in the woods where it's quiet. It's like, what the hell is that? What the hell is that? You know, so this might be a different experience for all of our urban witches that don't necessarily spend a lot of time somewhere so remote, so quiet. So I'm really, really glad and grateful that you're focusing on bringing a feeling of safety into our Friday night, our first night together. Your workshop will be happening right after dinner. So I feel like it's a perfect way for us to wind down. It will be the full moon that weekend. So if the skies are clear, we'll also have the beautiful, listen to me, beautiful full moon radiating through the windows in the space that be offering the massages. So I'm excited for that. Yay. All right. Let's hear from Jen. And Jen's presentation I have taken. So I know she's going to undersell it. It's transformational. I'm just going to start right there. Okay. You can take it from there.
You see, that's such a great introduction. Thank you.
Yeah, so, like still talking about it.
You see, that's so amazing to hear. So what I will be bringing to STAYcation is a bit of psychoeducation. So specifically, I want us to be getting into every nook and cranny of imposter syndrome. What is it? What are the different types of imposter syndrome? And just to give a little hint, one of those types is a perfectionist, but we're going to unlock the 4 other different types. And I just want to cultivate a space where we are reflecting and maybe learning some new things about ourselves. Like, is this me? Do I show up in this way? Growing up, did the family members I mainly engage with, did they impact how I navigate things in this way? So I just want to cultivate just a little bit of self-reflection and connection with one another, because you may find out that the person sitting next to you may have been experiencing imposter syndrome in a very similar format. So yes, reflection, a little bit of education, reframing self-doubt, because the root of imposter syndrome is a bit of self-doubt. So how do we lift that off of our shoulders? Because we don't need to carry that with us forever. So yeah, just a space for us to really just chat and get to know one another. That is what I'll be offering at STAYcation.
Yes, I'm so excited for everyone to experience this, because first of all, the education of the presentation blew me away, because I really, when we arranged for you to give your presentation at our last networking mixer, I was like, imposter syndrome, I'm good. I don't got that. You know what I'm saying? I'm that witch and I know it. I'm fine. But for the newbies and everybody else, this will be really great. Girl, you blew the lid off of it, because when you went through the different types, first of all, I didn't even know there were different types of imposter syndrome. And so when you actually broke it down, I was like, oh, yeah, I have that. Yeah, I have that too. That one might be me too. But really what was so beautiful was the fact that you helped us to uncover what was the underlying fear that creates each of these types of imposter syndrome. What are the experiences you may have had in your life? What's the fear that you have now? And that was so helpful, because you didn't just point out, oh yeah, now you have this other thing to worry about. It was, okay, this is also how you address it. This is how you heal that part of yourself. And I think all people have some form of this, but especially for the spiritual practitioners, those of you who are the working witches, the readers, the healers, the mystics, you are having to put yourself in the public eye. You are having to express to people your expertise and your authority on certain topics. And that can be hard to do when you've got one or several of these forms of imposter syndrome holding you back and preventing you from maybe putting yourself out there or putting yourself into rooms that you really truly deserve to be in, but that you may fear that you're not ready for. So, and as a coach to so many practitioners, this comes up in every single person's time with me. No matter what, it comes up at some point, whether it's a fear of being seen, whether it's a fear of having to be perfect, whatever it may be. So I know that everyone is going to take something really impactful and transformational from your presentation. And I'm really excited for everyone to experience it. So On Saturday, we will have our astral projection workshop from Eva in the morning, 10 a.m. to 12. We'll have a fantastic lunch, and then we will have our time with Jennifer. And then at the end of the day, from 3 to 5, will be the final workshop of the day, which will be led by me. And this workshop is called Divine Guidance. It is a workshop that I've offered in several different places, and every time I offer it, I cater it to the audience. I just offered it at the Christian Witches Convention. I just offered it at the Magically Queer Retreat at the Omega Institute. And now I get to offer it again for the third time this summer. And we're going to be focusing on our careers. So I am a firm believer that every practitioner should have a relationship with at least one ancestor and one guide that you can call out by name, that you can identify, and whose messages you can very readily interpret. I think that when we just sort of ask the universe, it breeds a lot of doubt. When we have a specific energy on the other side that we can go to, we can build a relationship that's really impactful. And so we are going to be calling forward each of your spirit guides through a guided meditation. And we're going to be asking specifically for the spirit guide that will help you with your business, your career, and your finances. Okay. We all have a money ancestor. We all have a money guide. We all have divine beings that are specifically here to help us be the most prosperous versions of ourselves and to overcome any lack that this world might be inflicting on us. And I want all of us to leave the weekend having made an introduction with that guide. So as you move forward and you have questions like, how should I price myself? And should I say yes to this collaboration opportunity? And am I ready to leave my 9 to 5? You have a guide that you know excels in the area of providing that type of guidance that you can connect with and go to. And so this is going to be a trippy ass afternoon, okay? From astral projections to guided meditations, like, woo, we're going to be all over the place. And what is going to be grounding us the entire time are going to be the wonderful nutritional foods that we are going to be served. Every year, I get an incredible caterer that makes us plant-based meals. When you apply, you are going to be able to submit any dietary restrictions that you have. So if you have any specific allergies or anything like that, you'll be able to let us know so that all of the meals take you into account and you don't have to worry about, I don't have enough food, I couldn't eat anything. We want to make sure everyone is well nourished, but all of the meals start off from a plant-based, vegan kind of background. And the idea is for us to be really clear-headed and rooted. Aside from the incredible meals that we will have, the STAYcation is also an alcohol and narcotics free event. Okay, so you will not see any spirits served here. And we ask that you please refrain from any narcotic use while on the premises so that everyone can be really clear-minded and able to experience these consciousness shifting experiences that we're going to have in a very healthy and safe way. Okay. If you are a cigarette smoker, there is a designated area outside of the house that the location requires you consume your cigarettes there. So there is a spot for you, because I know cigarettes, to go a whole weekend without it could be a little hard for some people. I've been there, okay? So don't worry. There is a designated spot for you, but otherwise we do ask that you leave any narcotics at home and be prepared to be clear-minded and fully present in the space with us. So after we're done with our workshops at 5:30, anyone that is with us for the day pass will head on home with your incredible swag bag, and the house guests will return to our house activities, starting with our Saturday night dumb supper. This is our spiritual ritual for Saturday night. If you've never experienced a dumb supper, DUMB. This is a neo-pagan practice that allows us to honor the ancestors through our meal. And so our meal is going to be prepared and served and described, and then we are going to sit and eat our meal in silence. And the experiences that we've had the last 2 years have been incredible. But we set a place for the ancestors. We also give them a plate of food and anything else that we're drinking or enjoying. You're invited to leave any offerings at their seating. So maybe you picked up some flowers while you were walking around the property, or maybe you brought a special crystal with you. You can leave that there as an offering. And we ask the ancestors to come, and I'm getting goosebumps, to come and join us and sit with us at the table. And that silence allows for the message that they have for each of us to come through clearly. And each year, it is unbelievable what happens. Sometimes people receive messages from their own ancestors. Sometimes people have received messages for other people at the table that they then at the end of dinner have shared. And it's been wild. Our first year, one of our guests had a message for her from a deceased loved one that actually came to two of us at the table. So both I and another guest saw this ancestor, received a message, and we both went up to her after and were like, we have something to tell you. You too? I saw him too. You too? And it was so powerful. She really needed to hear that message and to have it confirmed from two different people so that she could really be confident that that message was for her and was from her loved one. So the experiences that we have are really, really beautiful at the Dumb Supper. And once dinner is over, then Saturday night is up to us. We've had a lot of impromptu rituals that have happened, a lot of hanging around, hugging each other. There have been tears, there have been laughter. There's been laying out in front of the fireplace, just chilling. There's been sitting outside under the full moon. So Saturday night after dinner, you really get to do what you'd like. And oftentimes people end up, kind of splitting off into little groups and pulling cards or, doing little rituals with each other. And it's a really beautiful night. And then Sunday, we wake up and we will have a cleansing ceremony that I'll be leading for us that is basically designed to help us to let go of anything that we just don't want to take back with us. The house has given us a great experience and it's a vessel. We're on the water. There's really no better cleansing agent than the ocean herself. So we get to leave behind anything that we don't want to take with us. Maybe it's pain that Fox helped you to relieve. Maybe it's fear of traveling to other realms that Eva helped you to work through. Maybe it's imposter syndrome that Jennifer gave you tools for how to heal and how to work through. Maybe it's loneliness that you were able to relieve by connecting with a guide that you get to go home with. But we do a ceremony to release anything that we're not taking with us. Before the ceremony is breakfast. Every morning, Saturday and Sunday morning, we have breakfast. And I like to make breakfast. That's like my thing. I like to make coffee and tea and bagels and fruit salad and all that good stuff to start the day. And then we have our cleansing ceremony and then we clean up the house. Everyone packs up. And if you participated in our ground transportation, which is included in your application fees, then the cars will come to pick you up and bring you back to Witchburg. If you came to the property yourself, then you'll be able to head home in the same manner. There's parking on the premises, so you're welcome to bring your own vehicle. The premises is Uber accessible, so you can Uber home or to the New Rochelle Metro North Station, which isn't too far away if you're taking the train somewhere or need to get to the airport. So all of the details about where we are staying, the exact address and travel and directions and all of that good stuff are shared with everybody who is approved to join us or who purchases a day pass. So once you have made your deposit or you have purchased your day pass, you will get follow-up instructions for how to actually navigate to the space. It's important to know that if you're coming up on the day pass, there is no ground transportation available. So you will have to come up to the property and go back the same way on your own. But for those of us that are staying for the weekend, the ground transportation picks up on Friday at 3:00 from Witchwork, brings you right to the location, and then picks you up and takes you right back to Witchwork, which is located by Yankee Stadium, on Sunday afternoon. One of the questions that I get every year when people find out that the pickup time is 3:00 on Friday is, oh no, I work until 5. What do I do? I still want to come. That is okay. You don't have to come up with us through the ground transportation. You will be given all the travel instructions. So if you want to hop in a cab or hop on the train when you get off of work and come and join us, you absolutely can. Check-in is at 4:00. The property tour is at 5, and dinner is served around 7 o'clock. So you're welcome to join us anytime Friday evening that works for you. Okay. We've got some beautiful comments coming in on YouTube. Womb Anversity says, Eva's journeys are unlike anything else I've ever done. And we're getting some excitement about that. Let me see if there are any questions coming in on Instagram. Now is your time to drop your questions, folks, if you have anything that we haven't covered so far. And while we're waiting for any questions to come in, I'm just going to ask one last question of each of our activity leaders. And what I want to know from each of you is, why is this retreat important to you? You guys all offer your services and teach your classes in a variety of places. And when I mentioned participating in the staycation, each of you was like, super excited. And that made me feel really good. And I would love for folks to know, like, you guys are booked and busy, you've got workshops, you've got schools you're opening, you're traveling, but each of you has said, no, I want to set aside time to participate here. Eva and Fox are actually going to be staying for the whole weekend. So if you don't get in, be mad because they took your spots. So get your applications in because there are only a few left. We actually have already booked up the first floor. There's 3 floors in the house. And we've already booked up the first floor, guys. So just a heads up. Technically, registration is open until September, but I don't think all the spots in the house will last until then. We do have 20-day passes. So if you don't get a spot in the house, you can come up for Saturday and still enjoy the community and the substantive workshops, the swag bags, and the lunch. But if you want to stay with us, I definitely would not delay in at least getting your application in so you can get the review portion done and get approved. And then you can move on to making your deposits and all of that other good stuff. But I wanted to know from each of you, what was it about the staycation that made you feel like this was the year that you wanted to participate and that you wanted to bring a workshop to? And we'll start with Eva again.
Hey. Well, I'm going to start it off with, I salute my people, and I always say hood rising. And I say hood afternoon, and there's a reason from that. I grew up in the Bronx, the boogie down Bronx, the hood. And a lot of times when you're from the hood, you're not respected. And the things that you do are not respected. And it's like, you can't have or be because you're not on top or don't have that elevation. So when I met Bronx Witch, it was, first of all, love at first sight, because I was like, this is amazing. What you're doing is absolutely amazing. And you're showing people in the hood that we can be in touch with ourselves, with our inner spirit, and grow off of that. I do past life regressions and everything. And just knowing that I could bring that to the town where I raised that, where we wasn't even thinking about none of this. And we were taught so badly that what? Your witch is over. You lose friends. Nobody want to talk to you. You do bad spiritual magic. And so with this, I want to show people that, yes, the hood is rising. And I want you to understand that we are elevating spiritually and vibrating in a whole new level. And we're going to show them that we can do that without it being a negative thing, because there's nothing negative about loving your ancestors. First of all, we live amongst the dead. Okay. There's nothing negative about conjuring or drinking a tea that to you might be, no, it's a self-healing. So if you're about self-healing and getting connected to God, then this is the place for you to be. And I just want to show people that we can do it and anybody could do it, and that you don't have to be ashamed if you are feeling that. Being a medium sometimes is hard. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be a hard, silent dinner because I'm going to be hearing everybody. And it's okay. It's okay. And all you need is help to construct it and use it the right way, because not everything in this world is evil. Everything has its good and negative, and there's a reason why you have to learn how to use it as a positive as well as a negative. And this is what this means to me: learning how to use it, learning how to understand it, and bringing it to the hood. That's what's up. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for this, bro. Ali, for real.
Oh, of course.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And I would stop everything just to come here from where I'm from, to give my city and my ancestors my love for them to grow. Everything. It's worth everything. So thank you for
Thank
having me.
you. Absolutely. I love that. Thank you so much for saying that. I'm reading a book right now by Tamala Gordon called Hood Wellness. And so it's very aligned with what's on my mind right now about the ways in which we bring these types of experiences, spiritual experiences, self-care experiences, to a place where people feel like we're not deserving. We're not deserving of mental health services. We're not deserving of luxurious massages by the water. We're not deserving of spiritual practices that we don't have to travel to the rainforests of the Amazon to experience. People really do look at the Bronx and the people who live here as if we are not deserving of this type of care. And when I think about the people of the Bronx that I want to help the most, I think about all of these healers, all of these intuitives, all of these readers that are helping people through some of the harshest environment to live in. To me, who is more deserving than the emergency responders? Right. And we are the spiritual emergency responders, the ones that often don't get thanked for coming through during hard times. And so this is our opportunity to pour into ourselves. So I'm so grateful to hear you say that and to have you with us for the weekend. So thank you. So Fox, your thoughts. Why are you, aside from the fact that you were a guest last year, okay, so you already know what it is. But aside from that, what has motivated you to want to be a part of it as an activity leader this time?
So when I joined last year, I needed to heal. There was a wound that was not ready to heal, that I wasn't, and I didn't know I needed the staycation and the safe, and it felt safe. Like I was able to find a way to feel safe to start healing, because growing up in the South Bronx, same thing, like we are held to a different standard. Like we get hurt, but we're supposed to continue moving. Like if we're not hurt, like and emotionally and physically that happens. But this time I want to help those who are coming in that are not used to uh, being around other people or being overwhelmed by the feeling that house is going to give you, because it's beautiful, but it's a lot. And I want to help guide anybody who's staying that first night through emotions, and let them know that they're okay to stay here, and to let the spirit know that we are here to bond with them. We're here for that, and we're here for each other. And that's also another thing through touch. Touch is healing is beautiful in the sense of that you need another person to heal together for that. It's a partnership and trust, and you got to build the trust. And I want to give that back to people who are here for that journey.
I love that. Thank you so much. And that's such a beautiful point that you went through that experience coming into the house last year and not knowing what to expect, or necessarily having the most fun in social environments with people that you don't know, and to have that bring you a level of healing that you now want to pass on to the next person. That's literally the embodiment of hashtag witches helping witches, which is like one of my hashtags that I like to use. So I'm so grateful to have you here, especially being able to help people navigate the house and all of that, because you've already been there as a guest.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited about that. What about you, Jen? What are your thoughts on the decision to be with us this year?
Yes. Well, first and foremost, I just love what witch work represents. I feel like it does a great job of encompassing spiritual, holistic, and even mental wellness in a space, and you just do it in such a unified and uniform fashion. For me, when I think of the word staycation, I always think that that's a dream, right? When we're tired of everything, we're just like, oh, I need a break. Like, let me go on a staycation where I could be comfortable and just focus on me. And that's my immediate thought of a staycation. So even when I hear about what's happening this year, it's just like, yes, we are going to get in touch with us. we're getting in touch with ourselves spiritually. We're getting in touch with our own mental health. We're just doing a lot of self-reflection. We're doing healing. We're doing growing. And just being in an environment that promotes that is exactly where I want to be. And something that I'm really, really excited is not, well, I'm very excited for the other workshops that are happening. I'm very, very excited for that. But something else that I am excited about is being able to give knowledge that I know that it's way more easily accessible than we even recognize, and something that we probably deal with on a daily basis that we just don't talk about. And I feel like all these different workshops are things that we probably think about, but we just don't always feel comfortable talking about. Whether it's through spirituality, whether it is connecting with our ancestors, whether it is connecting a little bit more with our mental health, our inner child. These are conversations that do need to happen. And the fact that there is a retreat that encompasses all those different facets, that's exciting. It's exciting and it's necessary. So yeah, just being a part of a space, and it's probably going to feel so ethereal, like so, like almost transcending in form. And yeah, my overarching goal is just to not only spread awareness for things that maybe we just don't know the name of, but we feel all the time, and how can we heal from that. And yeah, just the whole idea of a staycation with Whitford is just very exciting to me. And yeah, I'm just very, very excited. This is my first time attending, being a part of, and I get to be a part of it as a facilitator. When I was at, yeah, I was like, yes, please, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Right now. Let's right now. And it's also a form of self-care. And being a mental health professional, I'm very pro self-care. We are doing self-care astrologically. We are doing self-care through massages. We're doing self-care through mental health conversations. Like, this whole weekend is about self-care. So yes, staycation me immediately.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, when I was thinking about the name 2 years ago, 3 years ago now, that was something that I was getting really big into, which is giving myself staycations, because vacations are cool, but they can actually be a little stressful. I don't know about you, but I go away for vacation and then I come back feeling just as tired or even more than before I went, because the airport check-in and the passport and the packing, and maybe you went with somebody and now they on some other when you get there, and I thought we was going to do all the excursions, but you ain't bring no coin. Oh man, you know what I mean? You got all this stuff going on. So sometimes vacations aren't truly restful. And I have found that staycations, where you basically tell everybody, leave me alone, I'm not going to be available, and you just stay somewhere where you're comfortable, is great. And I'm also glad that you bring up the point that it's a staycation. We call it that because obviously, as a Bronx native and resident, it's really important for me to make it possible for residents of the Bronx to be able to experience what it's like to go away somewhere, to be in nature, to get away from the noise, to get away from, the chaos that is New York City in general, but also the Bronx. And not have to go very far. You don't need a passport. You don't got to get on a plane. You don't even have to get on a train if you come for the whole weekend and take advantage of our ground transportation. You're a 35-minute cab ride north of work. You're still within the parameters of the Bronx, but you're in a part of the Bronx I guarantee you've never seen before and probably had no idea was there. And so I want to give my local witches an experience that's different, because growing up as a witch, everything you read is like, go out into your garden or in your cottage. And I'm like, I live on a 5th floor apartment building on 165th Street. I ain't got no cottage. I don't got no rolling fields. You know what I mean? I might not even have water access. Go and throw some flowers in the water. Where am I going? You mean the puddle outside? Does the open hydrant count? You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I've got. So I want my Bronx witches to know that there's opportunity for you to connect deeply within nature right here in the Bronx. You just might not know about it, but you don't have to be a Bronxite or a New Yorker to come with us. Already, some of our signups for this year are coming as far away as Miami and Indiana. So we've got folks that are flying into New York, okay, in order to participate in the staycation. So you can come from absolutely anywhere. But there is that something special that I feel, that I'm able to bring an experience like this to Bronxites, just because the property, the home, and the weekend is so different from what much of the Bronx gives you when you live there. So I'm really, really excited about that. So we've got some questions coming in that I'm excited to field to the activity leaders before any of them have to head out. But before we take those questions, I just want to really quickly revisit how you can participate in this incredible weekend, the third annual STAYcation retreat. So you're going to go to bronxswitch.com/retreats. That's the website where you'll find all of the information. You can navigate there on your own, or you can find it at the link in my bio on Instagram at BronxSwitch, or on Witchworks Instagram at BronxSwitchHQ. And I imagine that each of our amazing activity leaders has already also linked it in their calendars and their websites. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to any of them. They're happy to point you in the direction of the information page and the application. Staying with us for the entire weekend does involve an application. You do need to complete your application and get a phone call from me for a quick chat before you will be sent your contract and your deposit. Right now, it is still the early bird pricing window. It was till August 6th, but I said, you know what? Let me extend it until after the live. And so the early bird pricing now ends on August 16th. Okay, that's Saturday. So you have all of Saturday. The Saturday night, the early bird pricing will end. Early bird pricing for the entire weekend, all inclusive, is $8.99. But to lock in your space, you are just going to put down a $500 non-refundable deposit when you complete your contract. Okay, so that gives you some time. The second half of your payment isn't due until 45 days before the event, which is in mid-September. So you don't have to make your full investment all at once, but I do encourage you to submit your application before the early bird pricing window ends, because even if you don't fill out your contract or have your chat, you will still get the early bird price. As long as I have your application before the end of the day on Saturday, you will still get the early bird price, okay? Once the early bird pricing window is done, anybody who applies after that, the full price is $200 more. It's $10.99. Okay, your deposit is the same, $500, and your remaining balance is due 45 days before the weekend. And for those of you that are not able to join us for the whole weekend, for whatever reason, now for the first time ever, you can take advantage of our day pass. So you can come up and join us on Saturday, participate in the 3 substantive workshops, have lunch, and get the swag bag, okay, for $199. So that's an incredible deal for those of you that are not available for the whole weekend or are not ready to commit to stay for the whole weekend for whatever reason, okay? When you go to bronxswitch.com/retreats, or you click on any of the links on Instagram, on YouTube, you will get all of the details and the links to apply or to the day pass. You don't have to submit an application for the day pass. That is an Eventbrite ticket, but there are only 20 of those available. Only 20 of those available, okay? So don't delay. Once those 20 are sold, we won't be able to accommodate anybody else. We want to make sure everyone enjoys all of these experiences. So we want to keep the total amount of people down to about 40 people or so. All right. Now, the sponsors, obviously they are not here on the call with us today, but we have some incredible sponsors that have already signed on and some really exciting ones that are coming down the pipeline. If you're on my mailing list or if you're on Witchworks mailing list, you will get update emails when these new sponsors come along. But I want to give you a quick little sneak peek of some of the sponsors that have already signed on to participate with us. And I want to give a big shout out to 2 of them specifically. First off, I want to give a big shout out to Heineken non-alcoholic. That's right, baby. Just because it's a sober weekend doesn't mean we can't have an adult beverage, okay? So shout out to Heineken non-alcoholic that has sent us cases and cases of their non-alcoholic beer. So if you would like a nice cold bubbly at some point during the weekend, our refrigerator is going to be stacked with these thanks to Heineken. So shout out to them for being an early sponsor. And I just got the package in the mail today. A huge shout out to Llewellyn worldwide. If you've ever bought a witchy book in your life and you've seen the little moon symbol on the side, okay, that's Llewellyn. They are the #1 publishers in the body, mind, soul category. So they publish just about every witchy book you probably have ever read. They've been incredible partners to me. Many of their authors have appeared on my podcast, the BetterWitch podcast, and they were 100% happy to sign up as a sponsor for this year's swag bag. So each of the swag bags is going to include a copy of my absolute favorite book for tarot readers called Will You Give Me a Reading? It's written by Jenna Matlin. Jenna was a guest on my podcast, so if you want to check that out, you can. But most books written about tarot are about like the Three of Wands means this and right? Okay, we've seen it all. This is a completely different book because Jenna teaches you how to give readings one-on-one to yourself or in group environments. For my new readers or for readers that are offering tarot as a service and feel like they could use a little bit more guidance on how to do that really well in one-on-one or group environments, this is the book I recommend to everybody. And Llewellyn sent us 40 copies. So there will be one in every single swag bag. They also sent us a spell for the Empress Gree bag. And this spell is written and created by Lilith Dorsey. If you are a voodoo practitioner or you know anything about voodoo at all, you are active in the scene in New Orleans, anything like that, then you know about Lilith Dorsey. She was also on my podcast, so you can check out that episode. But if you want to learn from an OG voodoo practitioner and author of many, many books, this is a fantastic way to learn how to create a gree bag from an actual voodoo practitioner. This is not somebody who learned yesterday, okay? And then Llewellyn has sent us their travel ritual candles, which is going to come in handy during our rituals during the weekend. So if we need any candles, everybody will have their own. This is just a small peek into all of the stuff that is going to be in the swag bag and an introduction to the sponsors that are agreeing to participate and make this weekend a really, really special weekend for us. So shout out to all of our sponsors. Thank you to everyone who signed on so early and to all of the sponsors that are in the process of signing up. Get on my mailing list, get on the mailing list at Witchwork, and you'll get updates about more goodies going into the swag bags. So we're going to be wrapping up here soon. So I want to grab some questions. I know Jen has a class to teach in a few minutes. So I want to send this question directly to you, Jen, because it is addressed to you. And P Queen wants to know, Jennifer, how many types of imposter syndromes are there?
So, P Queen, there are 5 different types of imposter syndrome. You have the perfectionist, you have the soloist, you have the natural genius, you have the superhuman, and you have the expert. And on Saturday at the STAYcation, we're going to dive into it a little bit more.
Yes, thank you so much. That's a really great question. And that's what blew my mind about your presentation, because I was like, what? There are types? And that's when the healing really began. All right. Angelo says, does anybody here do ancestral work? Maybe. So I think Eva and I probably do a lot of ancestral work. I am bringing my divine guidance class here to really help everyone connect with their spirit guides. But I also have a class called Orphaned Ancestry. I am adopted and met my birth family for the first time late last year after 38 years of life. And so my ancestral journey is different from a lot of folks. And that put me in a position to create a class that can help anyone connect with their ancestors, even if you don't know the name of a single family member. Because maybe like me, you're adopted, fostered, or maybe you're just estranged from your family for some reason. So that class might be really helpful for you, Angelo. Definitely check it out. At the link in my bio, you can find all of my spiritual classes, including that one. But yeah. Ancestral work is heavy up in here. And during the weekend, our Dumb Supper is going to help you to connect with your ancestors. So if you don't do ancestral work yet, that might change after the Dumb Supper. All right. Thank you, Jen. I know Jen is heading out. If Eva and Fox are able to stick around for another couple minutes, please do. I'm going to see if there are any other questions.
Bye, everyone.
Hi. The Brew Hex Bruja with an X, asked on Instagram, how do we sign up for the day pass? I dropped into the comments over here on YouTube and on Instagram, the bronxwitch.com/retreats, which is the website where you can get all of the information about the whole weekend. I made a full info video for you guys on YouTube. It's like 15 minutes long, breaks everything down. So if there's anything I missed, that video has all the information that you need. But there's also the link to the application to stay with us for the whole weekend, or the link to purchase your ticket if you want to join us just for the day pass. And I'll go ahead and repost that. I will actually, I'll pin the comment. There we go. I'll pin the comment so everyone has access to that. Okay. I have another question over here on Instagram, which was, am I the only dude? And I am so glad that you asked that question. Who asked that question? Because I just saw it scroll by. Official Raven Wolf Claw, thank you so much for asking that question. That's actually a really great question, because people do often think, when they hear witch, they think women for some reason, or when they see activity leaders that are women or femme presenting, they think this is just for women. And I always have to remind people, no, absolutely not. The staycation is not just for women or femme identifying people at all. It is for everyone. Okay. Of course, when I call you, I'm going to be like, hey, what you all about? But I do that to everybody, so don't take it personally. Absolutely anyone can come. And a fun fact about the staycation is that our first year, we actually had more men than women. Believe it or not. I should have taken more photos and videos, but it was my first retreat. So I was just running around trying to make sure, everything was working the way it needed to. I didn't take as much content as I did in our second year. But in our first year, we had more men than women actually sign up to participate. We've got several dudes that have signed on and that are going to be staying with us either for the weekend or that have bought day passes for just Saturday. So you're absolutely not the only dude. And this is not a gender specific event at all. We are open to all participants that want to level up as spiritual practitioners. Okay. Let's see. While we wait for any last minute questions, I will open up the floor to our activity leaders. Do you all have any questions? And is there anything that you would like to share with the community that you haven't just yet?
I am actually gonna put a post out with a voting for it, unless you do like a group chat for anybody who's staying. If you do any of that, I'll do a group voting there to see what style of massage is preference, if they rather chair or if they rather stretching, because we can do a nice good stretch, or we for 15 minutes, or we could do chair, if whichever is more comfortable for the people who are staying for the weekend.
Yeah, that's right. Because you are also a stretch therapist. So
Yeah.
you have sessions where you're just stretching people out, which
Yeah.
I'm a little afraid of, because I'm stiffer than a whole rubber band. So, I've gotten many massages from you, but I haven't signed up for a stretch session yet, girl, because I'm just afraid I won't stretch back. You know what I'm saying? So
I think you would enjoy it very much so, because I am trained in Thai massage, so I do still do Thai massage, which is incorporated stretching into their style of massaging, but I just tend to add a little more stretching into it from my prior career of being an athlete. So everything just it's an all incorporation thing, especially for the fact that a lot of Eastern massages have specific stretches for specific moon phases and times of year. So
Okay. Yeah. Well, what we can do is, there's something called the transportation and activity form that once everyone staying in the house has been settled on and the, options are closed, we're all filled up. I send out a form for people to express their interest in the different workshops and things like that, so that I can get people's referrals and, you know, all that good stuff. And we can include that there. So we can have folks sign up for you and they can choose if they prefer stretch or if they prefer a chair. And then that will give you a heads up about what people want, so you know what equipment you should bring to be prepared for what people want and all that good stuff. So I can help with that for sure.
Okay.
All right. So Dragon's Nest Movement, hey Crystal, says, is there anything we should bring other than the usual for a weekend stay? Anything in particular we should wear? What are the room and bed situations like for the weekend? Great question. So I will pose the first part of the question to you all. Is there anything that people should bring for your workshops, or anything in particular that they should wear? And then I'll answer the question about the room and bed situation. So we'll start with Eva. Is there anything people should wear or bring?
Well, I say bring good spirits. That's the first thing you're gonna bring. And the second thing, if you want, I like people to wear light clothing. So anything in light colors, colorful colors. As you can see, I love colors. Colorful colors, everything light. Don't keep it out of the darkness, and just bring that positive vibe, because you know we're sharing individually as well as all together as a unit. So it's important to have a vibe. So, you know, I'm a birth doula. I say all the time during birth and death doula time, it's important for the energy of the room to be synchronized. So everybody got to be in the same boat. So let's all just be in love and in spirit and just wanting growth and caring about each other. That's all I want you to bring.
Yeah. And your workshop, if the weather is permitting, if it's not too chilly, we will be holding it right by the water. Outside of the property. So I would encourage you all to bring a yoga mat or blanket that you don't mind laying down on the ground. There are plenty of blankets in the house. Think of it as going to grandma's house. But if grandma was like super rich in the Victorian era and she had a big old mansion with Tiffany's glass, there's closets and closets of sheets and blankets and pillows and all of that good stuff. You can take the blanket off of your bed. So there will be plenty of things like that. But for your own comfort, if we are outside, a yoga mat might be very helpful to have with you. But again, it's not required. You can grab one of the blankets in the house as well. What about for you, Fox?
Well, if we're doing the stretching, I would say loose, breathable clothing for them, so it's not constricting for them. I would say dress to comfort, no matter what. Even on the chair, because even if you're in the chair, you don't want to wear something that's like too tight on you that you're uncomfortable with. So just comfortable clothing.
Yeah. Same for me, for my workshop. Jen's workshop is going to involve a presentation and will probably take place in the conference room in the house or in the front foyer in the conference house. So we'll be indoors for that. Note, Ms., we started an hour ago, so you can watch the replay. So the conference room is indoors, so you don't have to worry about like a mat or anything. There's couches and chairs in the conference room as well as in the foyer. My workshop will also be outside, weather permitting, of course. So I recommend a yoga mat or blanket that you can lay on as well. It'll be later in the year. It should be nice and cool. So I don't think we're going to have any issues with like mosquitoes or anything like that. But I'm super sensitive to mosquitoes, so I wear bug spray anytime I'm stepping outside anywhere. So I'll have some bug spray on me. So don't worry, we got you. There's plenty of first aid stuff in the house and things like that for emergencies. So we're good on all of that. And like I said, the house is fully stocked with sheets and blankets and everything, towels, plenty of towels, face cloth, all of that good stuff. Oh, no worries, no worries. That's the beauty of being on YouTube. You'll be able to go right back to the start to catch anything that you missed. Yeah, so you have all of the towels and toilet paper and all of that good stuff. So it's just like going to grandma's house. She's got all the goodies and stuff in the cabinets and all of that. You just want to bring your clothes and the things that your toiletries and things that you need for the weekend. Also, for those of you that are staying with us for the weekend, I just mentioned the transportation and activity form. Once all of the spots are booked out, you are going to get a form from us indicating where you can indicate which workshops and activities you are most likely going to participate in, because you're not required, by the way, if I haven't said this, to participate in anything. If you want to come up for the weekend and just get away from the kids and sleep in your bed, in your bedroom, and enjoy some nice meals that you don't have to cook for yourself, you can do that too. Okay. It's totally fine. You can sit any of the workshops out. You can enjoy yourself as you would like. Everything is included in your fees. So there's nothing to add on. You simply participate in anything that you'd like. So closer to the start of the event, you will get a form where you can indicate which of the workshops and activities you think you are going to participate in. And that is also where we will provide you a detailed list of any clothing, materials, etc. that you might want to have. So there will be instructions on what you might want to bring or what you might want to wear to the dumb supper, to the cleansing ceremony, etc., etc. So you'll get all of that information well in advance before you start packing, okay? So Crystal, I hope that answers your question. Let me know. I got Mrs. question. My bad, by the way, if it didn't say 5 p.m. Eastern, but yes, we're in New York. So the time is Eastern over here. And the replay of this will be posted on both my Instagram at BronxWitch and Witchworks Instagram at BronxWitchHQ, as well as here on my YouTube channel. So you'll be able to go back and rewatch anything that you missed. I also recommend that you get on the mailing list, whether it's my mailing list or Witchworks mailing list, because that's where we will be sending lots of updates and things like that. Oh, yes. Thank you, Crystal. Also, the bed and room situation. So each of the rooms is a shared room. Each room is different. So some of them have 2 beds, some of them have 3 beds, some have 4 beds, and some of the beds are queen or king size beds. Most of the beds are singles, but we do have some larger beds. Maybe you're coming with a friend, maybe you're coming with a spouse, maybe you just don't mind sharing a queen or king size bed with another witch. You do have that option when you fill out your application to indicate whether or not you must have a single bed or you're okay with a shared bed accommodation. And if you choose shared bed accommodation, there's also a space to write in the name of the person you want to share the bed with. So if you're coming with a friend, you can put right on your application, yes, I'm okay with shared bed, but only with Fox, right? So you will be paired with the person who also applied to come with you. Otherwise, you will be given a single bed and all of the rooms are shared rooms. So there are multiple beds in the rooms. There are no single rooms, but there are single beds, okay? And you get to choose which you prefer. Okay. I have questions about the deposit being non-refundable. What happens if I'm not accepted or in the case of an emergency? That is a great question. So first of all, if you are not accepted, you will not have paid your deposit. That part happens first, okay? So you will submit your application. You will hear from me by phone call or by email to ask any questions about your application answers, to make sure that I feel comfortable, that we all feel comfortable that this is the right event for you. And only then will you be emailed your contract and your deposit. And you have a full week after that email is sent to you to actually sign and submit your deposit. So you're able to read through the contract, and I encourage you to do that. Read through it carefully. Make sure you know all of the details before you submit your deposit. Okay. The deposit is non-refundable. However, any payments that you make beyond the deposit are completely refundable. So if there is an emergency and you've already paid for your spot and you're like, oh my gosh, I absolutely cannot make it, don't worry. Anything you've paid beyond your deposit is refundable. Okay. All right. These are great questions. Also, again, all this information is at bronxwitch.com/retreats and on the application itself. So if you have further questions that you can't find anywhere, click on the application. Because even if you open up the application, no one's making you fill it out. You can just open up the application and just read through all the questions, read through all the terms, make sure you understand everything before you even apply. Okay. All right. So we're going to be wrapping it up here in just a second, guys. So if you have any other questions, drop them down below real fast. If we miss you and you're not able to get your question in, you can always ask your question on the live. So whether you're on YouTube or you're on Instagram, you can drop your question down in the comments, and I will be absolutely happy to answer or point you in the direction of where you can find those answers. I want to let you all know that the house is almost full. We have 2 floors worth of bedrooms, and the first floor is already booked up. So you've just got the top floor of bedrooms available. The early bird pricing, I extended it because I wanted us to wait until after this live in case you guys had any more questions. So now that all those questions are answered, the end of the early bird pricing ends on Saturday. You don't have to sign your contract or pay your deposit by Saturday. Just get your application in by Saturday so we can start the application review process, and that will ensure that you will still get the early bird price, which is just $8.99 for the full weekend, transportation, meals, all workshops, and spiritual ceremonies included. Okay. For the day pass, we have 20 day pass tickets available. You can find those tickets at the same website. They are offered through Eventbrite, and you'll have more time to purchase your day pass tickets, but just keep in mind there are only 20 available. When those are sold out, those will be done. Day pass tickets give you access to everything that is happening Saturday morning and afternoon. We have 3 workshops, lunch, and the swag bag, which is filling up very nicely and already super, super dope. Okay. If you missed the early bird pricing, just know you can still apply to join us in the house. The early bird price is $200 less than the regular price. So if you'd like to save those $200, get your application in before the end of Saturday, August the 16th, Eastern Standard Time. All right, which is, I don't see any other questions. So I think we've done a pretty good job answering everything for everyone. I first want to thank everyone who has tuned in to the live on whatever platform you found this on. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to what the STAYcation has to offer and decide if it's right for you. I'm excited to see all of you there. And I want to thank our activity leaders. Shout out to Jen, to Eva, to Fox, and to all of our wonderful sponsors who are coming on board or have already agreed to participate and support this event. I'm incredibly grateful to all of you. So thank you all for being here. Drop your questions in the comments if you have any, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all. All right, bye activity leaders. Thank you all so much for being here. We're going to say bye to the live audiences.